Alright, today basically we're going to be working with handrails and staircases. So the end product is going to look like this, where it's pretty much the equal height all the way up the length of your staircase at an angle and with curvatures in it. The idea is to turn this on this side into this on this side. And this should be able to work with a 1-to-1, 1-to-2, and a 1-to-3 type staircase. Now, I've already kind of cut out a section over here on this side and copied it based on where I want the starting point of the angle and end point of this angle here to be for this other staircase. And if we come over here, this is that cutout section. Now, to get this to actually work correctly, I'm going to use my add tool and I'm going to click the top point and drag it back. And here I'm going to add, so I have a 4x4 for the top point. And I'm going to do the same thing down here at the bottom. Drag it out one, click my checkbox, and then I'm going to make a 4x4 out of it. So this edge right here is going to be the starting point of my angle, and this edge on the top 4x4 is going to be the end point of my angle. So I'm going to use my line tool. I'm going to set it to a 2x2. Click my starting point, click my ending point. Now it kind of does some little artifacting here on this side, but this is not the side we're going to be dealing with. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come back over here. I'm going to make another copy of that same area from here to here, which is my starting point and end point. I'm going to drag it down and make this copy. Control C to copy, Control V to paste. So I have this selection again. I'm going to come back to this section that I created over here and minus these pieces that I put on the end for my bumper stops, I guess you could call them. I'm going to select this section that I created here, do a Control copy, Control V to paste. I'm going to lower this down and I'm going to push it into this other section that I copied and pasted earlier. Hold my Shift key and click. Right here where it says paste to air, remove that checkbox and hit check. And this will give me a smooth straight angle here. Now let's go ahead and paint this. And you can see how all the different all the different voxels have deformed to create that shape. But we're going to paint this up and we're going to copy this. Copy. I'm going to come over to my railing and I'm going to paste. Just drop this down and paste it into position. Hold my Shift key, click, check it with air so that it removes anything around it, and click check. So now our first little angle has been completed. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do this one for the top section. Now, I've already done a little prep work for it, which is here. And I've already put in my 4x4s of where I want my angle to start and where I want it to end at. Use my line tool again to a 2x2, click and click. Now let's go back up here and grab that same section. Make sure I have the area that I'm wanting, which is here to here. Do a copy and a paste. And now we'll do the same thing with this. We'll select the top and select the bottom, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and let's drop that down right where we want it. Now this one, I've got the little extra overhang here at this side, but I want that one single voxel to be basically undisturbed. So we're going to drop this in right here. Hold your shift, click, remove the check, and you see I have a little bit of deformations. Take your delete tool and delete those two out. Control V to paste again, and basically paste back over the same location. So there we go. Now let's copy this and let's paste it into position. Control V. Let's bring this down, bring this in, shift, click, give it air, and check. So now we have our two primary sections completed. I'll put these little curves in here just to give it a little bit of extra. So I went ahead and laid out the process that I used to create this. I made this simple little M looking shape here. I copied it and I stacked it pretty high. Then I selected that whole entire section and I hit it 3 times with the smooth tool. And once I did that, it turned into this shape. Not very pretty, but what we're after is this center little section right here in the center. Take your selection tool and grab that one little section like so, copy it and paste it out. And you'll get a shape that looks like this, so you actually have a curvature to it. Once you have this, we want to chop off, using your delete tool, chop off the ends of it, and it'll look like this. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to chop off one more, here and here, and it'll end up looking like this little curve. Once you get it to this, you take your add tool and add 1 to one of the sides, and basically the reason why I'm doing this is I'll take my add tool and click it, and if you notice really minute there, this inside voxel here will actually conform to the size of this one voxel, and this will help us actually be able to make it look really good once we paste it in. So I did that and it came out looking like this, pretty much the same as that. So once we have this section like this, let's copy this and let's take it over to our banister. We're going to paste this into position. And it is, if I can get it set up the way I want it. I think I grabbed one voxel more than I needed. So I pasted that in, and let's delete this one on the end off. And let's grab this again. Control copy. Control paste. I shift clicked, that way I have my ability to move it around and move my camera and such. So let's get this into position, and it kind of looks like I'm off, doesn't it? I wonder what that is. I think I had everything all set up here, but let's bring this down into position and I'll work with it and see what we can do. Let's take off the paste with air first. Check. just to see what I have. And I do have a little bit of a deformation here, but we can kind of work with that. So let's back out. I'm going to paste it one more time, but this time I'm going to paste it with air. And basically we're just going to go straight down until we hit the bottom of our little platform here. As you can tell, it's kind of shaping up pretty good. Okay, the next thing we're going to do, and I think I could probably repaste this top section here, and that will fix that little meeting point, and we'll get to that here in a moment. The next thing I'm going to do is here on the bottom section I'm going to use that same curvature, and I'm just going to go vertically with it. So now I have the curvature on each side. Now let's go ahead and fix this top section here after I've pasted that. Let's come over here and we'll copy this whole section again just for the top little section. Copy. Let's come back over here, paste, bring it down, push it in, hold your shift, click, remove the paste with air, and hit your checkbox. And now that angle has hit that curvature just the way we want it. So there we go. We have pretty much two matching sides. Now you will possibly get some of this artifacting here, and it looks like I've got a missing little section here as well. Take your add tool, we'll fill that in. We'll grab this section just above here, copy it, paste it, and paste right over top of the one that was messed up. That should have smoothed that up. Now you see how it's kind of pulled on these particular voxels here at the bottom. Take your selection tool, grab those, take your add tool, and smooth it up. This will fix a lot of the little artifacting that we have going on here, and make your steps look a lot better. And there we go. Just a simple way to kind of clean up some of your staircases, and you can get a little bit more intricate than what I have here. You can probably have like a spiral in the corners, but it will give you a little bit more detail in some of the works instead of having just jagged edges. So hope you enjoyed that tutorial.